The first thing I remember from that night was the silence. Too sharp, too heavy, as if even the crescent moon above the Silverkeep courtyard was holding its breath. Every lantern burned blue-white for the choosing ceremony, casting cold light on polished stone and towering wolf statues. Laughter drifted among the pack nobles, dresses swishing, armor clinking, but none of it was meant for me. I kept my gaze low as I stepped into the courtyard, heart thudding beneath my ribs like something trapped. Emma, a simple name, easily forgotten. Most in the kingdom only called me the shy Omega, the girl with a weak bloodline, the one who would never be chosen. My scent was soft spring rain, my wolf barely strong enough to shift without trembling. And tonight, surrounded by powerful warriors and ambitious Omegas, I felt smaller than ever. Whispers slid across the courtyard like cold fingers. Why is she even here? She'll never be Luna. Look, she's shaking. I pretended not to hear them. But my bond mark, faint and silver beneath my wrist, flickered with the sting of humiliation. At the far end of the courtyard, beneath banners of obsidian and moon silver, stood the throne dais, waiting for the Alpha King's arrival. Stories of him were legend. Logan Thorn, the Wolf of Winter, crowned beneath a blood moon and bound by prophecy to choose a mate before the year's end. A king feared by rivals, respected by warriors, and avoided by every Omega who valued her heartbeat. He was everything I wasn't. Powerful. Untouchable. Destiny-kissed. That's why the world seemed to tilt when the courtyard doors slammed open and a sudden hush swept through the crowd like a spell settling over us all. Logan entered the ceremony. His stride was silent but commanding, black fur mantle brushing against dark steel armor, silver eyes glowing like moonlit frost. Every noble bowed instantly. Every whisper vanished. Except one. It came from him. Because the moment his gaze swept the courtyard, it didn't linger on the confident Omegas in jeweled gowns, nor the daughters of influential packs, nor the warrior women who dared meet his eyes. His pupils narrowed. His breath hitched barely. And his attention locked on me. An Omega no one wanted. An Omega who tried to be invisible. An Omega whose world shifted in the space of one heartbeat. The air tightened with something ancient and electric, like a bond stirring awake after centuries of sleep. Logan descended the steps slowly, each footfall echoing across the stone. The crowd parted in confusion and dread as he crossed the courtyard straight toward me, gaze never wavering. I felt the weight of his aura before he even reached me, alpha power, frost-bitten and intoxicating. My wolf whimpered inside me, not in fear, but in recognition. He stopped a breath away, towering over me, voice low and rough as winter wind. Omega, he murmured, eyes glowing brighter. Tell me your name. My lips parted, trembling. Yama. Something in his expression shifted, something primal, unrestrained. And in front of the entire kingdom, before the council or law could intervene, the Alpha King breathed one haunting word. Mine! For a heartbeat, no one moved. Even the wind seemed to hesitate, brushing cold fingers across my cheeks as if unsure whether to flee or bow. The courtyard, moments ago alive with chatter and ambition, fell silent in a way that felt dangerous. Shock rippled through the nobles like a wave crashing against stone. The Alpha King had claimed an Omega. Me. Without warning, without ritual, without permission. Logan's declaration echoed inside my skull, settling beneath my skin like the touch of moonfire. My wolf trembled, pressing forward in both fear and longing. A warmth bloomed in my chest, sweeping through my bond mark as if the moon goddess herself breathed on it. But disbelief crashed over me just as fast. Your Majesty, someone whispered sharply. Surely you don't mean. Logan didn't even look away from me. His stare held the force of a winter storm, unyielding and mesmerizing. A faint glow pulsed in his silver eyes, ancient, prophetic, utterly claiming. He lifted his hand, slow enough not to startle me, and brushed his fingers beneath my chin. The touch was feather-light yet powerful enough to still every breath in my body. My wolf surged again, tail tucked but drawn to him, trusting him in a way I didn't understand. Emma. he said softly, voice dipping into something meant only for me. Look at me. I forced my gaze upward. His presence wrapped around me like frost and fire intertwined, both terrifying and irresistible. I had never been this close to royalty, let alone the Alpha King who commanded armies, who maintained peace through fear alone, whose wolf was rumored to be larger than any in the kingdom. Why me? I whispered, barely breath. His thumb brushed the warmth along my jawline. Because destiny never makes mistakes. Behind him, gasps broke out. The murmurs grew sharper. She isn't even from a noble pack. There must be some misunderstanding. She's too weak, look at her. He cannot make her Luna. Logan's head snapped toward the voices, and a cold growl rumbled through his chest, not loud, but lethal enough to make grown warriors flinch. Enough. The single word froze the entire courtyard. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. As silence fell again, Logan stepped closer, his aura folding around me like a protective shield against the judgment piercing the air. I could feel how tightly coiled his control was. Like he was holding back a wolf desperate to drag me into his arms. Emma, he murmured, returning his focus to me. Do you feel it too? My pulse stumbled. The world tilted. The bond mark on my wrist glowed faintly through my skin, responding to the warmth of his nearness. I don't know what this is, I whispered. His breath brushed my forehead, soft and unbearably intimate. It's the bond waking. Our bond. The moon goddess tied it long before you were born. My knees almost buckled. Not possible. Not me. Yet something inside me, some quiet, lonely part that had always felt out of place, leaned toward him, drawn by a thread older than prophecy. Logan exhaled, the sound shuddering with something like relief, or possession. Emma, he whispered, I claim you before all. And then, slowly, deliberately, he reached for my trembling hand. When Logan's hand reached for mine, the world seemed to narrow into a single point of melting heat and pounding blood. I stared at his outstretched fingers, strong, calloused from battle, marked with faint scars earned defending the kingdom, and I felt a pull so deep it rattled my bones. No Alpha should touch an Omega during a choosing ceremony, not unless he intended to claim her before the moon goddess and every watching eye. Yet here he was. Reaching. Waiting. Choosing me. My breath trembled as I placed my hand in his. The moment our skin touched, the courtyard lanterns flickered violently, as if caught in a sudden gust of magic. A shock of warmth rushed up my arm, flooding through my chest and settling in my heart like a brand pressed into place. My wolf surged, not timid now, but curious, drawn, awake. Gasps rippled around us. The prophecy. Goddess, it's true, look at the bond mark. Her wrist, it's glowing. I jerked my gaze downward. My bond mark, once faint as moon dust, now blazed with soft silver light. Not harsh or painful, gentle, like moonlight on water. Logan's own bond mark shimmered in response, a brilliant echo that cast soft luminescence across his armor. He exhaled, a sound so full of emotion it tightened my throat. It recognizes you, he murmured. You are the one it's been waiting for. I swallowed hard. But I'm nobody. His fingers tightened around mine, firm enough to ground me. Do not speak of my mate as if she is small. Mate. My heart stuttered violently. The word hung in the air like a spark waiting to ignite the night. Before I could form a single reply, harsh footsteps rang out from the dais. The pack council surged forward, faces twisted with alarm. Elder Merlin, her hair white as bone, stepped between us with her staff raised. Your Majesty, she hissed. This cannot be allowed. You must release the girl. She is untested. Untrained. Logan didn't even spare her a glance. Speak one more word against her, and you will answer not to the council, but to my wolf. A low growl followed his threat, rolling through the courtyard like thunder. Several nobles flinched, one Omega whimpered. Elder Merlin stiffened, fury flashing in her eyes. You risk the stability of the kingdom over an Omega with no status. The ritual must be adhered to. We must confirm the bond before. The bond is already confirmed, Logan snapped. His gaze swept the courtyard, hard as steel. Anyone who doubts it can step forward and challenge me. Not a single soul moved. He turned back to me, breath warm against my cheek. Emma, you will not stand alone. Not tonight. Not ever again. The sincerity in his voice, raw, unexpected, made my eyes sting. No one had ever spoken to me like that. No one had ever looked at me as though I mattered. But the weight of the moment crushed my ribs with fear. Logan, I whispered, shaking. I don't know how to do this. I've never been. He leaned closer, so close his forehead nearly touched mine. You don't have to be anything except who you are. The goddess chose you. My wolf chose you. I choose you. Under the moonlight, surrounded by nobles who wished I would disappear, the Alpha King's voice softened to something I never expected from a man forged of frost and war. I will not let them take you from me. The courtyard felt smaller with every passing breath, as if the ancient stone walls were drawing closer, trapping me between the life I had known and the fate that now reached for me with burning hands. Logan still held my fingers, his grip warm and steady, but the air around us crackled with the cold edge of danger. The council had not retreated. They regrouped near the obsidian banners, whispering sharply among themselves. Glances darting toward me like I was a threat rather than a trembling Omega trying not to collapse. Elder Merlin's voice sliced through the murmurs. This breaks tradition. The kingdom will not accept her. Logan's jaw tightened. The kingdom will do as their alpha commands. But fear burrowed under my skin like thorns. I wasn't meant for this. I wasn't raised for courts and rituals and politics that could swallow me whole. My heart beat so quickly it hurt. Logan, I whispered, unable to keep the tremor from my voice. They hate this. They hate me. His head turned sharply, eyes flashing with cold fire. They can hate as loudly as they wish. They will not touch you. He stepped closer, enough that I could feel the heat radiating through his armor, enough that his wolf brushed mine in a soft, protective sweep. The scent of winter pine and shadowed forest clung to him, steadying me in ways I didn't understand. But fear still pressed heavily on my tongue. I'm not strong, I admitted quietly. I don't have a powerful bloodline. I barely shift. How can I stand beside you as my mate? He finished, voice low, dangerous. As the woman the moon goddess made for me. The certainty in his words made my breath catch. He believed it, truly believed it. I just wasn't sure I did. Before I could answer, the council elder stepped forward again, anger stiffening her spine. Your Majesty, there are laws that even an Alpha King must respect. The mate bond must be tested before the Pack Council. If this girl is truly destined, let the ritual prove it. Or expose her as an unworthy choice. Logan released a slow breath, not furious, but controlled, like a storm waiting for permission to break. You want a test? He asked softly. Too softly. The elder swallowed, sensing danger, but nodded. Yes. Before dawn. Logan's smile didn't reach his eyes. Then the council will witness the bond tonight. Gasps rippled through the courtyard. Tonight? That soon? It's forbidden unless. I felt my stomach twist. I didn't know what this ritual entailed. I didn't know what the consequences were if I failed, if we failed. But Logan's hand remained wrapped around mine, warm and unyielding. His wolf brushed against me again, reassuring, protective, almost desperate. Then he leaned closer, lowering his voice so only I could hear. Emma, he murmured, his breath ghosting against my temple. I need you to trust me. I closed my eyes, shaking. Trust him? An Alpha King whose power could crush kingdoms? A man who had chosen me without warning? But beneath the terror, something pulsed. A thread. A pull. A bond awakening in the deepest part of me. And when I opened my eyes, Logan's gaze softened, not with possession this time, but with something gentler, almost fragile beneath all that strength. "I won't let the council decide your worth," he whispered. "The moon goddess already has." My voice came out as barely more than a breath. "What do I have to do?" Logan's fingers tightened around mine. "Stay beside me," he said. "And survive the ritual." The words "survive the ritual" echoed through my mind long after Logan spoke them. They clung to the inside of my chest like ice, sharp and frightening. I swallowed, trying to force air back into my lungs. "What exactly does that mean?" I whispered. Logan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he turned to face the crowd, his posture straightening, shoulders squaring, jaw hardening into the expression of a true king. When he spoke, the courtyard trembled beneath the weight of his voice. "Prepare the moon spire chamber," he commanded. "The ritual will begin within the hour." Shock rippled across every face. "The moon spire? At night? That chamber hasn't been used in generations. It's dangerous. The last bond ritual nearly killed." Their words broke off when Logan raised his hand. "This is my decree." No one dared challenge him. Not openly. But the tension in the air thickened, cold as frostbite and twice as sharp. As the courtiers began to disperse, some in fearful flurries, others in silent outrage, Logan turned back to me, his voice softening. "Emma," he murmured, "walk with me." He didn't pull. He didn't force. He simply offered his hand again. And though fear clawed at my throat, something deeper tugged me forward, something older than fear, older than pack law, older than every whispered doubt. I took his hand. Logan exhaled as if a weight eased inside him, and together we left the courtyard through the moonlit archway that led toward the heart of Silverkeep Castle. The corridors were quieter than I expected, lit by narrow windows where moonlight poured like liquid silver across stone. Logan guided me through winding hallways, his steps steady, mine uneven. I felt small beside him, small but safe somehow. "Logan," I whispered at last, "what is the moon spire chamber?" He slowed, just slightly, turning his head to study me. In the moonlight, his eyes were silver fire. "It's the chamber where true mate bonds are awakened, or rejected. By the moon goddess herself," he said. "Where fate is confirmed, or broken." My heart dropped. "And if we aren't meant?" He stopped walking. The movement was abrupt enough that I almost collided with him, his hand instinctively tightening around mine to steady me. His face lowered to mine, expression fierce. "Emma," he said quietly, "if the goddess sees fit to sever this bond, I would feel it. I would know it. But I don't." He lifted his free hand and placed it gently over my bond mark, heat radiating through my skin. "This light," he murmured, "does not appear for chance. It appears for destiny. Destiny. Me. An omega with barely enough strength to shift. How could destiny look like me?" I didn't get the chance to voice the fear before he added. "But the ritual will challenge you. It will test your wolf, your spirit. It will test mine as well. What happens if we fail?" I whispered. His jaw tensed. "You won't." "That's not what I asked?" A flicker of pain crossed his features, quick but real. Logan rarely showed vulnerability, but in that moment, he didn't hide it. "If the bond doesn't hold," his voice roughened, "you will feel the breaking first. Omegas always do. It can be overwhelming. Overwhelming. Painful. Deadly." My legs weakened, fear gripping hard. But Logan stepped closer, lowering his forehead until it almost touched mine, his breath shaking slightly. "I won't let you fall," he whispered. "Not in the chamber. Not anywhere in this kingdom." I swallowed hard. "Why are you so certain?" His eyes softened, not with certainty, but something rawer. "Because the moment you stepped into that courtyard," he murmured, "my wolf recognized you. Before I even understood it myself." His thumb brushed the inside of my wrist, right over the glowing mark. "You are mine, Emma," he whispered. "But only if the goddess says so too." He straightened then, releasing a slow breath as the heavy doors of the Moonspire Tower came into view, tall, carved with crescent symbols and ancient runes. Torches crackled on either side, casting amber light across Logan's face. "Are you ready?" he asked gently. I wasn't. But for him, for the bond pulling me toward him like silver thread, I nodded. "I'll try." He squeezed my hand once. "That's all I need." And together, we stepped toward the chamber where fate waited. The massive doors of the Moonspire chamber groaned open, releasing a breath of ancient cold that swept across my skin like a warning. The chamber beyond was vast and circular, carved deep into the heart of the tower. Moonlight poured in from a narrow skylight high above, falling in a perfect column to the center of the room, where a stone dais waited like an altar meant for sacrifice or salvation. Silver runes spiraled across the floor, glowing faintly with life. The air tasted of dust, magic, and forgotten prayers. Logan stepped inside first, his presence filling the chamber, his aura brushing against mine in a protective sweep. I followed, my footsteps soft and uncertain on the stone. Behind us, the doors shut with a thundering echo, sealing us in. I shivered. "It feels alive," I whispered. "It is," Logan said softly. "The Moonspire was carved before the kingdom existed." The first Alpha and Omega performed their bond ritual here, blessed by the Moon Goddess herself. Since then, only true pairings have survived its test. My stomach tightened painfully. And false pairings? He looked at me, expression shadowed. I revealed quickly. I swallowed hard, fingers curling nervously. Logan reached out and gently unfolded them, threading his fingers through mine. "You won't face this alone." Warmth spread through me from the point of contact, steadying me. But fear still clung like frost. "The council will expect proof," I whispered. "They will get it," he murmured. "Even if I have to tear open the sky to show them." There was a wildness in his tone, something desperate, protective, and impossibly tender. It made something tight inside me loosen, just a little. We walked toward the dais, our joined footsteps echoing softly. The runes brightened with each step Logan took, responding to his power. When I stepped over them, they flickered. Hesitating, then glowed warmer, gentler, as if adjusting to my presence. Logan noticed. "Do you feel that?" he asked, voice low. "Yes," I breathed. Like it's watching me. "It's recognizing you," he corrected. "Testing your spirit." My wolf pressed forward inside me, frightened but curious. She had never been this alert. She had never felt anything this intensely. When we reached the center, Logan released my hand only to lift it higher, placing our joined hands directly beneath the moonlit column. Immediately, the runes flared to life. A hum vibrated through the floor, ancient, resonant, rising like a heartbeat awakening after centuries of sleep. I gasped as shimmering silver flames, neither hot nor cold, sprang up in a perfect ring around the dais, encircling us. I stepped back instinctively, but Logan pulled me gently against his side. "Don't fear it," he whispered. "This fire reveals truth. It won't harm you if the bond is real. And if it isn't..." My voice shook. He didn't answer with words. Instead, he cupped my cheek with his free hand, guiding my gaze back to his. The flames reflected in his silver eyes, turning them into molten moonlight. "Emma," he whispered, "the goddess does not make mistakes." His thumb brushed my cheekbone in a slow, reverent stroke that made my breath catch. "All you need to do is let your wolf respond. Let her speak." "My wolf is weak," I said, voice breaking. "She barely shifts." "She is yours," he interrupted softly. "And that makes her enough." The flames rose higher, casting long shadows across the chamber walls. The hum grew louder, vibrating through the stone, through my bones, through the fragile hope trembling in my chest. Logan stepped behind me, wrapping his arms around my waist, not forceful, but grounding. His breath warmed the side of my neck, soothing my racing pulse. "Close your eyes," he murmured. "Feel the bond." Reach for it. I swallowed, heart pounding. What if I fail you? His embrace tightened, his forehead lowering to the back of my shoulder. You could never fail me. I let out a small, shaky exhale. Then, slowly, I closed my eyes. The world went dark, but the bond mark on my wrist pulsed with faint, growing light. I reached inward, toward my wolf, toward the fragile thread tying me to the Alpha King behind me. And the chamber, ancient, watching, hungry for truth, responded. The darkness behind my eyelids wasn't empty. It pulsed, slow, rhythmic, like the shadow of a heartbeat echoing from somewhere far away. At first, I thought it was fear. Then I realized it was something deeper. My wolf. She didn't appear often. Most of the time she slept, quiet and uncertain, pushed down by years of being told she was weak. But now, something tugged at her. A pull, gentle yet insistent, like a thread made of moonlight winding around her paws. Wake up, I whispered inwardly, unsure if she would hear. A soft sound answered, half whimper, half sigh. Then Logan's hand slid up my arm, steady and warm, his voice rumbling against the back of my neck. Good. Don't fight it. Let her come forward. The silver flames circling the dais rose higher, crackling without heat. Their glow shimmered through my closed eyes, casting shifting shadows inside my mind. I don't know if she's strong enough, I confessed, breath trembling. She is, Logan murmured. And if she falters, my wolf will steady her. A low growl rolled from his chest, protective, resonant, ancient. It vibrated through my spine, awakening something hollow and yearning inside me. My wolf responded to it, lifting her head as if hearing a distant call. The heartbeat in the darkness quickened. I reached toward it, but pain flared suddenly across my bond mark, sharp and bright. I gasped, opening my eyes as the silver flames surged violently. Emma? Logan's grip tightened. Stay with me. The moon spire chamber thrummed, runes flashing brighter with each pulse of my mark. The flames began to swirl, bending inward, drawn toward the space between Logan and me. What's happening? I whispered, panic rising. The chamber is recognizing the bond, Logan said, though his voice held tension now. It's trying to pull it forward. The flames twisted into slender threads of light, reaching out like searching hands. Touching my bond mark, brushing Logan's, then recoiling, then returning stronger. It's testing your connection, Logan murmured against my ear. Let your wolf answer. I'm trying, I breathed. But she's scared. Then let her feel me. He shifted slightly, one arm wrapping fully around my waist, pulling me back against his chest. His wolf pushed forward, hard, power surging like winter wind through the bond between us. Not overwhelming. Not crushing. Inviting. My wolf whimpered again. But this time, her tail lifted. She stepped closer to that silver thread connecting us. And then, something clicked. Not loudly. Not violently. Just perfectly. The bond mark on my wrist burst into radiant silver light. Logan's did the same. The flames responded instantly, spiraling upward in a vortex of shimmering fire that filled the chamber with impossible brilliance. I cried out, clutching Logan's arm as the world dissolved into light. He held me tighter. You're doing it, Emma. This is the bond waking. The sensation was overwhelming, a pull in my chest, a tightening in my throat, heat blooming beneath my skin. It felt like being exposed and embraced at once, like every part of me was being seen by something vast and divine. Then a whisper, not Logan's, drifted through the chamber, soft as falling snow. Chosen. My breath hitched. Had I imagined it? Logan stiffened behind me. You heard her, he whispered. The moon goddess. The flames roared higher. The runes blazed. My wolf stepped fully into the light, trembling but unbroken. And the bond surged between us, alive. The silver flames soared upward, spiraling toward the skylight as if trying to reach the moon itself. For a heartbeat, the chamber felt weightless. The air hummed, my skin tingled, and the bond mark on my wrist burned with silver fire. Logan kept his arms around me, his hold steady despite the storm unfolding around us. His wolf pressed close, strong, anchoring, protective. I leaned back into him instinctively, trusting his warmth as the last remnants of fear trembled through me. Then the flames dimmed, but didn't disappear. They drew together, weaving themselves into a shimmering shape before us, something tall, luminous, ethereal. The outline of a woman formed in the light, her hair drifting like starlit wind, her eyes pools of moonlit silver. I froze. "Is that?" My voice caught. Logan lowered his head respectfully. "The moon goddess." I couldn't breathe. Her gaze drifted to me first, piercing, weightless, ancient. When she spoke, her voice was everywhere at once, in the air, in my ears, in my chest. "Emma of the quiet bloodline." My heart stopped. She knew my name. She knew my lineage. "You carry a dormant power," the goddess whispered, her expression unreadable. "One hidden, one fragile, one feared by those who sought to silence it." Logan stiffened. "Feared? By whom?" But the goddess didn't look at him yet. Her attention remained on me, heavy as moonlight. "Your wolf is not weak, child. She is sealed." The floor beneath me seemed to drop away. "As sealed?" I stammered. "By who?" The goddess's luminous eyes softened with something like sorrow. "By the one who wished to protect you, and the ones who wished to use you." My blood ran cold. Logan stepped in front of me slightly, instinctively shielding me. "Tell me who threatens her. I will end them." The goddess turned toward him now, her voice shifting, still soft, but edged with warning. "Alpha King Logan Thorn, Wolf of Winter, you are the chosen mate. But your path is not without shadow." Logan didn't flinch. "Whatever comes, I'll face it. And she will be your greatest strength, or your undoing." My breath hitched. "What does that mean?" I whispered. The flames around the goddess flickered, dimming like a candle in wind. "There is a darkness moving in the kingdom. One born of broken bloodlines and ancient betrayal. It seeks the throne, and the Omega who could unlock its power." Logan's jaw tightened. "If anyone threatens her, they die." The goddess's glow brightened, almost approving. "Your bond burns true. The ritual acknowledges it." My chest loosened slightly. But then her voice shifted again, colder. "Yet you are not safe." Silver light gathered around her, pulsing like a heartbeat. "Emma, daughter of the sealed wolf, your power will awaken soon. When it does, those who hunt you will rise from shadow. Beware those who speak of prophecy. Beware those with silver eyes not born of the goddess." Logan's hand found my waist again, a silent vow of protection. "Tell us what we must do," he demanded. But the goddess was fading, her form unraveling into drifting silver embers. "Trust the bond. Trust your wolves. And know this." Her voice echoed through the chamber as she vanished completely, leaving nothing but moonlit dust. "Love will save the kingdom, or shatter it." The flames died instantly. Silence crashed down. Only our breathing remained, the king steady, mine shaking. Logan turned me toward him, his eyes storm-bright and protective. "Emma," he whispered, "whatever is coming, we face it together." My voice trembled. "She said someone sealed my wolf? And I'll unseal her," he vowed, threading his fingers through mine. "Even if I have to hunt the entire kingdom to find the one responsible." But as the chamber settled, and the echoes faded, a new fear chilled my bones. Because for the first time, I felt something moving inside me. A spark. A pulse. A whisper from my wolf, trying to wake. And whatever seal held her, was beginning to crack. A tremor rippled through me, subtle at first, like a faint flutter beneath my ribs. But then it sharpened, a pulse of heat that spread from my bond mark up my arm, curling into my chest. I staggered, breath catching. Logan's hand tightened around mine instantly. "Emma?" I don't know," I whispered, clutching my ribs. "Something's happening." My wolf pushed against the inside of me, no longer timid or quiet. She pawed weakly, urgently, at the barrier that had always caged her. The seal the moon goddess spoke of was no longer dormant. It was weakening. "Emma, look at me," Logan said, stepping close enough that his body steadied mine. The chamber was dim now, empty of fire and light, but Logan's presence burned warm around me. His aura flared, wolf rising to the surface in response to my distress. I could feel it, an icy rush of power brushing my skin, protective and fierce. "What does it feel like?" he asked gently. "Like someone knocking from inside," I whispered. "Like she's trying to get out." His expression darkened, determined, conflicted, protective all at once. "Your wolf has been trapped for years." This might be the first time she's felt the bond fully. A sudden, sharp pulse tore through my stomach. I gasped, knees buckling. Logan caught me before I hit the stone, one arm curling around my waist, the other cupping the back of my neck. "It's all right," he murmured. "Breathe with me." I pressed my forehead to his chest, trembling as another wave rolled through me, this one softer, but warmer, like moonlight melting frost. My wolf wasn't attacking me. She was reaching for me. Reaching for him. "Logan! I feel her," I whispered. His breath hitched against my hair. "Good. Let her through, little one. Don't fight her." "I'm not," I whispered. "I'm just scared." His arms tightened. "You're not alone." For a moment, we stayed like that, breathing in tandem. Slowly, the tremors eased, not gone, but calmer, restrained, no longer violent. My wolf withdrew back into that shadowed space inside my mind, but not entirely. She stayed close to the surface, watching. Waiting. Logan exhaled. The ritual woke her. And it woke whatever power was sealed. My voice was small. "Is that dangerous?" "Only to those who want to harm you." His words sank into me like warmth spreading through cold bones. But the chamber door groaned suddenly, a harsh scrape of stone against stone. Logan moved instantly, placing himself between me and the entrance as it opened. His aura surged, a growl vibrating low in his throat. Torches flickered. Shadows stretched. Then Elder Merlin stepped inside, leaning heavily on her carved staff. Her eyes flicked to the extinguished silver flames, then to me, then to Logan. "Well," she said sharply, "the ritual didn't kill you." "That's unexpected." Logan's growl deepened. "Choose your next words very wisely, Elder." She ignored him. Her gaze locked on me with unsettling intensity. "You summoned the goddess," she said. "That hasn't happened in centuries. And she left you with a warning." Logan stepped closer to me. "She left us with a warning." Elder Merlin's lips thinned. "The council must discuss this. There will be consequences." A cold knot formed in my stomach. "Consequences?" I whispered. She raised her chin. "You have been chosen as mate to the Alpha King. But power sealed inside an Omega? Power that could threaten the throne? That will not go unexamined." Logan's voice dropped to lethal softness. "No one examines her. No one touches her. No one questions her. She is under my protection now." Elder Merlin's expression soured, but she didn't argue. Not openly. Instead, she narrowed her eyes at me, a look that sent a shiver down my spine. "The kingdom is shifting," she murmured. "And when the darkness the goddess spoke of rises, I only hope you can bear the weight of it." She turned and left, her staff echoing sharply down the corridor. The chamber fell silent again. Logan looked down at me, his voice gentle but firm. "Don't listen to her." But fear still curled cold and tight in my chest. "Logan," I whispered, "what if she's right? What if this power, whatever it is, puts everyone in danger?" He cupped my face with both hands, lowering his forehead to mine in a gesture so intimate my breath hitched. "Then I will teach you to control it," he murmured. "I will guard you until your wolf fully wakes. And I will burn down anyone who tries to take you from me." His voice was soft. His vow was not. A pulse of heat spread through my bond mark at his words, an echo of something ancient responding. My wolf stirred. For the first time. She did not feel weak. Logan didn't release me right away. His hands stayed warm against my cheeks, his forehead resting lightly against mine, as if grounding himself as much as grounding me. The moon-spire chamber felt different now, emptier without the goddess's presence, yet heavy with the echoes of her warning. He drew a slow breath, then straightened, his fingers brushing down my arms before he finally let go. "We should leave," he murmured. "The council will try to twist what happened or claim the ritual wasn't completed properly. I won't give them that chance." My knees still wobbled, but Logan slipped a steadying hand beneath my elbow, gentle, not possessive, guiding me toward the towering doors. Each step made my wolf stir again, her presence fluttering like wings beneath my ribs. Weak, yes, but awake. When the doors opened, cool air rushed in. The torchlit corridor beyond was long and narrow, lined with old carvings of crescent moons and wolves in midshift. Logan stepped into the hall first, scanning the shadows with a predator's patience. Then he offered his hand without looking back. I took it. We walked together down the winding stairs spiraling around the Moonspire Tower. The stone steps were slick with age, cold underfoot, echoing our footsteps in rhythmic patterns. His strong and sure, mine light and uneven. Halfway down, Logan spoke quietly. "I saw the fear in your eyes, Emma. Tell me what part frightened you." "The seal," I whispered. "The idea that someone did that to me, on purpose." His grip tightened. "And the warning," I added softly. "The darkness coming. The ones hunting us. The prophecy. I don't understand any of it." His jaw flexed. "You don't need to. I will handle whatever threat rises. Your only task is to breathe. Heal. And let your wolf grow." That should have soothed me. But something in the shadows shifted. The air gained weight, not physical, but wrong. A faint scrape echoed behind us. Logan froze mid-step. His hand flew from mine as he positioned himself in front of me, aura flaring so intensely my breath hitched. His silver eyes narrowed, scanning the darkness above the curve of the stairs. "Logan?" I whispered. He held up a hand, silent command, protective instinct, a warning all at once. The corridor went quiet. Not normal quiet. Dead quiet. No torches flickered. No breeze stirred. Even my wolf went still inside me, crouching low in fear. Then, a soft, guttural sound slid from the shadows above. Not a voice. Not quite human. Logan's growl answered it, low and murderous. "Rogue," he whispered. My breath caught. Rogues hadn't set foot inside the castle in decades. How could one be here? How could one breach the guarded tower without being noticed? Logan stepped up one stair, positioning himself as a shield. His wolf surged, power rippling through the air like frost breaking under pressure. "Stay behind me," he murmured, voice dropping into a deadly register. Something moved again, quicker this time, skittering along the curved stone wall like claws scraping bone. My pulse hammered. "Logan, someone must have let it in." "Yes," he said darkly. "Which means we are not dealing with a simple rogue." The air shifted. A shape dropped from above, landing on the stairs ahead of us with a thud that shook dust loose from the ceiling. It was tall, twisted, more shadow than flesh, its eyes glowing an unnatural silver blue that did not belong to any sane wolf. A chill shot through me. Those were not the eyes the goddess blessed. This was what she warned of. The creature's gaze snapped to me instantly, as if it had been hunting me specifically. Logan moved so fast my eyes barely caught the motion. One moment he stood beside me, the next his body was fully in front of mine, claws forming, fangs bared. "Touch her," Logan snarled, "and I'll rip your throat out." The rogue lunged. Logan met it midair with a roar that shook the stone. I pressed back against the wall as the two forces collided, steel-hard muscle against twisted shadow. The rogue's claws scraped sparks from the stone. Logan's growl thundered through the stairwell. But it wasn't just trying to kill him. Its gaze kept flicking to me. To my bond mark. To the power waking inside me. My wolf whimpered. Another crack rippled along the seal. And suddenly, my knees buckled again, but not from fear. From heat. From power. From something inside me trying to break free. Emma! Logan threw the rogue back, but his eyes whipped toward me in alarm. Stay with me, don't let it force the seal open. I can't. The heat surged through my veins like molten silver. The rogue shrieked, lunging again. The seal cracked a second time. Silver light burst beneath my skin. And Logan realized too late. The creature wasn't here to kill me. It was here to awaken me. The rogue lunged again, claws cutting through torchlight, eyes fixed on the silver glow burning beneath my skin. Logan moved with blinding speed, shifting mid-leap, his wolf exploding forward in a storm of white frost and raw fury. He slammed into the creature, jaws crushing into its shoulder, dragging it away from me with a roar that shook the stairwell. But I barely saw it. The seal inside me, the one the moon goddess warned about, was unraveling fast. Silver light coursed through my veins, pulsing, bleeding into the air around me. My wolf pushed against the barrier with desperate, frantic strength. Let me out. Let me protect us. Let me go to him. Tears burned my eyes. Logan! He didn't look back, couldn't look back, locked in a brutal fight as he tore into the rogue. The creature shrieked, black ichor splashing across the stone. Logan's wolf pinned it, fangs sinking deeper. But the rogue didn't fight for survival. It twisted. It reached. Its claw extended toward me one last time. The final crack shattered the seal. A burst of silver tore from my chest, lighting the tower like lightning. The rogue froze mid-lunge, its twisted body suspended as threads of moonlight wrapped around it like chains. Logan's wolf jerked back, startled, ears flattening. I wasn't shaking anymore. I wasn't weak. My wolf rose behind me, tall, luminous, silver-white, her form a glowing echo over my skin. She lifted her head, eyes blazing with the power she'd been denied her entire life. And she spoke without words. Enough. The rogue shrieked as the moonlight constricted it, then disintegrated into drifting ash that faded into thin air. Silence thundered back into the tower. I stood trembling, breath sharp, power still crackling around my fingertips. Logan shifted slowly, fur fading back into skin, eyes staying wolf-bright and wide as he stared at me. Emma, he whispered, voice rough with awe and fear and something dangerously close to reverence. Your wolf, she's magnificent. I collapsed forward before I could stop myself. He caught me instantly, pulling me against his chest. His heart hammered hard beneath my ear. You're safe, he murmured. I've got you. It's over. No. My voice shook. I think it's just beginning. He pulled back enough to study my face, brushing hair from my eyes with shaking fingers. I don't care what darkness comes, he said. I don't care what prophecy you carry. I don't care who fears your power. His forehead touched mine, soft, grounding. You are my mate. Chosen by the moon goddess. Chosen by me. I swallowed thickly. And I choose you. His breath hitched, just once. Then a small, relieved smile curled his lips as he pressed a slow kiss to my bond mark. Warmth spread through my body like a rising tide, the bond anchoring fully, completely, permanently. Silver light shimmered beneath both our skins. The mate bond was sealed. Forever. As we walked out of the Moonspire Tower, hand in hand, dawn broke across the kingdom. Soft gold spilling over the castle walls. Omegas and warriors gathered in stunned silence as Logan stood tall beside me, his voice carrying through the courtyard. This is Emma Thorne, he declared. My fated mate. Your queen. Your Luna. No one dared argue. Because the light still glowed faintly beneath my skin. Because Logan's wolf stood behind me like a silent promise of death to anyone who tried. Because destiny had chosen, and the entire kingdom felt it. Logan leaned down, his lips brushing the shell of my ear. Welcome home, little Omega. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I belong. Thank you so much for listening to this Alpha and Omega story. If you enjoyed it, stay close. More fated mates, forbidden bonds, and powerful Alpha Kings are coming soon. Moonlight bless your night.